Welcome to the City Manager's Report. The City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and municipal news, and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. Your hosts, Emily Springstroh of Oshkosh Media and City Manager Mark Roloff.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on your City Manager's Report on GovTV, your source for all the latest and greatest things that are happening right here in the city of Oshkosh. I'm your host, Emily Springstroh, joined as always by our City Manager, Mark Roloff. Thanks for joining us today, Mark.
Great to be here, Emily.
It's always great to have you. We're going to go ahead and dive into the first half of today's show with some hot topics and things that are happening around the city. We'll take a little break, and then we will return with a review of the City Council meeting agenda for Wednesday, November 14th, 2018. So, Mark, we are nearing the end of election week here in Oshkosh. We had a big day earlier this week, and let's just kind of talk a little bit about a recap of what happened with the turnout. There was a lot of early voters. How did it go this time around?
Well, it went very well. We were very pleased to have a 74% turnout. Normally, midterm elections are probably more along 50, 60%, and presidential elections are around 80%. So this was actually closer to a presidential election turnout than we've had. From a midterm standpoint, it was a very good turnout. And as you mentioned, there was a lot of early voting that took place, which I think helped contribute to that. The city clerk's office did a couple extra things. They opened early voting a week earlier, so they did 3 full weeks of voting. And they also held a session on Saturday, and I was here that Saturday morning, saw the turnout, and it was very good. So there was a lot of interest in voting this year, and I think everything that was done on our end to make it easier for the voters, we tried to do. But on election day, I know a lot of you were out there in line waiting, and some of our polling places, the line ends at 8 o'clock, but there were people still in line after 8 o'clock, waiting in line because they got there before 8 o'clock.
It was really exciting to see the up in the turnout this year for this election. I think a lot of had to do with social media too. I think people were really excited to show that they voted, and just the idea of doing your civic duty was really alive this time around in Oshkosh.
Yeah, cool. Plenty of people were wearing their I voted sticker with great pride, which is wonderful. We're happy to have that turnout because we're planning for 100% turnout. So if you don't come to the party, you're not going to have fun.
Exactly. And one of the big things about this election that we've been leading up to was the dark store issue. And now this was one of the referendum questions on the ballot. And tell us a little bit about the results and what we're gleaning from that.
There were a lot of counties and a few cities statewide that were doing these. It wasn't everywhere in the state, but a pretty good referendum question on a lot of different ballots. 73% of the voters in Winnebago County, because we did it on a countywide basis, 73% support in Winnebago County for dark store reform. Statewide, the average was about 78%. So, and that doesn't include the earlier referenda, some of which got as high as 90%. The lowest positive vote I saw in any community was southern part of the state. One county had only 59%. That was the worst outcome of all of them. But I think it really shows that dark store reform is understood by the voters. They want to see it, and they want to see it happen relatively soon. And our council and all of our local legislators are on board with this, and we just need to keep pushing this issue forward.
Definitely. It's very important. And so now that we have the results, we know how everybody's feeling about this. What's next? What's the next step that we're going to be taking here?
I think the idea is to take these results, share them with legislators, and there are some, my words, not anybody else's, archaic rules within the legislature that they will not move something unless a majority exists within one single party. Well, that doesn't allow for bipartisan support. This has bipartisan support of nearly 2/3 of the entire legislature is interested in doing this. So what we're saying is allow the bipartisan support, bipartisan legislation to go through and put it up for a vote. That's what the voters want. and that's certainly what we at the city of Oshkosh want. So let's do the right thing and vote on dark store reform.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the update on the post-election recap here. Again, we're very happy to see the turnout, and we're also happy to see these dark store results, and we look forward to hearing more news on that in the future. Next item that we have, Mark, is a little bit of a downtown construction update. Of course, it wouldn't be an episode of City Manager's Report without talking about construction. So tell us what's the latest on all the stuff going on downtown Oshkosh.
Things are again progressing well, but at this time of year, people are getting impatient because things have been closed for such a long time. It seems like Washington Avenue has been closed forever, but it's only been since about June or July. But we're getting close, and we're running this program through the week of November 12th. We expect that the road will eventually be open sometime during the week of November 12th. So be on the lookout for it. When all the barricades are down, you'll know it's ready to go. But we're getting close. A lot of the concrete's down on the street, doing curb and restoration, because you still need to have pretty much everything done except for a few what we call punch list items. But I always say it'll get done before deer hunting because everybody wants to go out and deer hunt. So I expect that the week of November 12th we'll have everything done. So just be on the lookout.
Excellent. And we will be making an announcement on social media, of course, when that is officially open. And if you'd like updates on any of the construction projects sent directly to your inbox, we do encourage you to head over to the Public Works Department's page on the city website, and you can subscribe to the email lists on specific projects and get those updates sent to you. Moving down our list, Mark, we've got some events that we want to promote. There's a lot of really exciting things happening right now as the holiday season begins. But first of all, the Parks Open House is coming up on this Saturday. And this is a really exciting time to come and check out how the Parks Department works.
A lot of people don't see all the behind the scenes stuff. They see what's going on at the parks, but everything that gets the Parks Department rolling. And a few years ago, the council asked us to have departments hold these open houses so people can see behind the scenes. So Saturday, November 10th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Parks Department office over on Witzel Avenue. And it's just an opportunity for you to walk around, take a look at our equipment, our facilities, and ask questions about things that are going on. We're going to have some events going on, some little activities. Family friendly, absolutely. Bring the kids if you want to get behind the scenes of what goes on at our Parks Department. We absolutely want to share that with everybody.
It's a great chance to meet the staff and also learn a lot more about our Parks Department. Like you said, there's a lot of things that you might not even realize are managed by the Parks Department. So we encourage everyone to head out there November 10th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that is at the Witzel Avenue office. The other event that we want to give a little promo for is the Howard Holiday Parade, brought to us by the Oshkosh Business Improvement District. It's a very exciting time. Everybody looks forward to this every year. That's on Tuesday, November 13th at 6:15 p.m. And Mark, you planning on heading out to the parade? I
think I'll be there. Let's hope the weather's good because last year it was just chilly. So, but you're covering it on Life TV. But yes. The parade starts it's coverage 6:15. That you'll be out there. So be out there, and the tree lighting's at 6 p.m. I know Mayor Cummings is going to be there for that. We moved the council meeting because of this, because of the parade getting moved. So excitement to see everybody out there, and hope you'll enjoy it.
Definitely a fun time to get into the holiday spirit with our parade every year. And once again, we will be covering that on Oshkosh Media Life TV. Moving down, along with some more seasonal things, is the leaf collection. We are moving into the final week of leaf collection scheduling, and that will be on Friday, November 16th. So we're encouraging everybody to get their leaves out this next week as we're finishing up this part of the season. Yeah,
I think most of the leaves are down, so try to rake them up and get them out there next week. Our vehicles get converted into snowplow trucks, so we go from fall to winter right away. So we're pretty much going to have most of our vehicles geared up for snow, but we try to do some hit and miss areas after the 16th, but don't count on that, please. We do have a special pickup in bags, and you'll see that on social media coming up. But if you can get your leaves out by next week, that would be great. And of course, please don't rake the leaves into the street. That creates a hazard. Get them on the terrace. We'll take care of them. You see the big thing with the big truck with the elephant trunk out front. We'll get those leaves. They go pretty fast when we're out there doing it.
Yes, and for all the schedules and information on leaf collection and brush collection and any other garbage recycling questions, go ahead and visit the city website, the sanitation page. Give them a call, and they're really happy to help you out. And we're very thankful for our leaf collection service here in Oshkosh. So, Mark, now it's that time of the show where viewers have the chance to ask you anything about anything they want about here in Oshkosh. Let's take a look at what the question mark question is this week. Mark, the question this week is, why has there been a maintenance truck on the Ohio-Wisconsin Street Bridge for the last few weeks? Great question.
Well, the first part of my answer was I don't know, because it wasn't a city truck, so we had to do a little digging out there. And this is part of annual bridge maintenance. The county actually manages the bridge maintenance in the city. So those trucks were out there, and a lot of people may not know that navigation season ends on November 1st. And that's really the first time that they can get on the bridge without having to worry about it opening and closing all day. So what you've probably seen out there in the last few weeks has been just the county bridge maintenance people out there just doing year-end maintenance, painting, things like that. We have to make sure that those bridges are, safe and operational, and so the county is responsible for doing that. So that's who you've probably seen out there. We don't know all the details, but the Wisconsin-Ohio Street Bridge is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. So I wouldn't be surprised with 10-year age in the bridge that there may have been a few more maintenance items that they were looking at that they probably weren't looking at the first 10 years. So they hit 10 years, they got to get that the checkup that they need to do. So that's probably why they've been out more than usual.
And it's a great reminder, too, that the bridges are, in fact, managed by the county, which I think is a lot of people don't even realize, that the city is not responsible for the maintenance of the bridges.
That's correct. Okay. And the bridge is now locked for the season, which means that it's winter time. So that's just part of it. And but the good thing is you won't be interrupted by the bridge going up and clogging up traffic, at least until May.
This is true. I drive that bridge every day, and it's nice not to have it going up and down. So pros and cons to both of the winter things happening. If you'd like to send a question to Mark, send it to us on Twitter, send it to us on Facebook at Oshkosh Media, or go ahead and email it to us at question@ci.oshkosh.wi.us, and Mark will answer it on the next episode of City Manager's Report. So before we head into break, we want to show off one of our other welcome videos that we put together, a list of 5 of them promoting Oshkosh, different legs of the strategic plan, and just really giving a good commercial for Oshkosh, I guess you could say.
Just telling a good story about areas within our strategic plan, and we've done some before, but this one is featured on infrastructure. So you'll learn a little bit about things that we do behind the scenes to make Oshkosh function every day.
Definitely. So let's go ahead and check out the infrastructure Welcome to Oshkosh video.
The city of Oshkosh, Wisconsin puts a high priority on developing and maintaining infrastructure for its residents and businesses. The city's Department of Public Works has established a comprehensive plan that maps out city roads in need of repair and is continuously working to reconstruct major roadways and residential streets. Residents can be reimbursed as much as $1,500 to help replace lead water service lines to their homes through the city's lead service line replacement program. And new investments are being made to maintain the quality of the city's drinking water. Being surrounded by beautiful waterways means the city must continuously invest in its stormwater infrastructure. Storm sewers and detention basins protect city streets, homes, and businesses from flooding, while also protecting local lakes and rivers from pollution. Since 2000, the city has constructed approximately 90 miles of storm sewer. The city also collaborates on public infrastructure items like the Oshkosh Transload Terminal. With public investment, a grant from the Wisconsin DOT, and a railroad operator looking to invest in the city, the first and only publicly owned transload terminal in the state was recently constructed. The facility provides the transfer of products and goods from truck to rail for businesses that don't have access to rail on their current site. With high quality of life, beautiful landscapes, and a constantly developing infrastructure, Oshkosh is the perfect place to live, work, and play.
And so this video was unveiled at the last council meeting, and it really is a great example of all the different things that are happening behind the scenes in the infrastructure world here.
It just shows that we do place priority on maintaining our infrastructure and showing some of the new things. The transload facility is a great addition. If you're out in that area, just kind of get off the road and just go take a look at it. It's really something to behold, and we're very proud of it. So you're going to be hearing more about some of our other features in the coming weeks, but they're already on our city website if you want to take a look at them.
Definitely. If you want to check out all 5 of the videos and you just can't wait till the next council meeting or episode of City Manager's Report, visit us on oshkoshmedia.org, and they're all listed right there. So we're going to take a quick break here on CMR, and when we come back, we're going to dive into the Common Council meeting agenda for Wednesday, November 14th. We'll be right back on City Manager's Report.
Explore the riches of prehistoric and early life that spans 13,000 years in the new People of the Waters exhibition at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover how the Ice Age transformed the landscape. Experience living in a full-size recreated longhouse. Uncover the past and learn the secrets of the fur trade. People of the Waters, a new interactive exhibition at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover more at oshkoshmuseum.org.
Welcome back to City Manager's Report. Thanks again for joining us. Now we're going to go ahead and dive into the Common Council meeting agenda for Wednesday, November 14th, 2018. So, Mark, the first thing that we're going to focus on here on the agenda is the presentation for Project SAFE. That stands for Smoke Alarms Are For Everyone program. So tell us about this one.
A great program run by our fire department. It's all about fire prevention, and you'd be surprised at the number of homes and apartments that don't have operational smoke alarms. So part of it's education, but it's also making smoke alarms available to people. And we're going to be very pleased to have representatives from the Winnebago Apartment Association at Tuesday's meeting to make a little presentation, a little contribution towards keeping this program going. This program runs on donations, and we really appreciate all the cooperation we get from Apartment Association and as well as the fire department and all the supporters for Project SAFE. So just another way to ensure that we have good, safe housing in the city of Oshkosh.
And it's perfect timing because we just wrapped up on the Fire Safety Month, which is the month of October. And so a lot of information being put out on Project SAFE as well as fire safety in general.
And that's what we want to do, just educate people on what this is all about.
Excellent. And for more information, you saw the website up on the screen. It's oshkoshfd.org if you want more information on Project SAFE or any of their other fire prevention information. Moving down the agenda, Mark, we've got the approval of the 2018 operations budget amendments for police asset forfeiture. We're focusing on the State for K-9 program, and that's a $10,000 price tag there. So tell us a little bit about what this is and where we're going to see it. Well,
we have a new K-9 dog, and there are costs associated with maintaining and getting the animal trained up, and then it's a lot of constant training that the dog goes through, as well as care and maintenance. They do live with the police officer, but those are some expenses that are pretty extraordinary. So we try to get donations and use other non-tax funds, and there's a state asset forfeiture account that we have some funds available, and we're going to be allocating about $10,000 to go towards the care and maintenance of our new canine animals. So a lot of people love the canines and happy to have them there. They really provide an extension of great police service that we already provide. The animals do a wonderful job enhancing our level of service.
Definitely. Well, it's a great thing to see on the agenda and another great reminder of the K-9 program with our Oshkosh Police Department. Moving down the agenda, we've got the approval agreement with Faust Excavating, Inc. for 2018-2019 snow and ice removal. It seems the theme of this show is the transfer of seasons here, and so it's unfortunate, but it's a very important thing to have on here.
Yeah, it is. I would love this program to have no work on it, but unfortunately, some people don't necessarily remove snow and ice from their sidewalks, and it's city code that requires you to do that. So just a reminder, because snow is in the forecast, and that's just the unfortunate reality. But sidewalks should be cleared within 24 hours after snowfall is stopped. And that we measure that over at Whitman Regional Airport, so that's the location. And then just over the course of the winter, please don't cover the fire hydrants. We need those in case there is a fire. And of course, also don't throw snow into the street. You're just repeating the same problem that we're having. So get it onto your terrace, get it onto your lawn, but get it done within 24 hours, because if somebody does call us and complains, we're going to go out there, and we're also going to look up and down the street at you and your neighbors, and we'll send out a crew. In this case, it's Faust Excavating for the coming year, and you'll be sent a bill, and it's not a cheap bill. So and there is no warning, because the warning is now. You got to get it done within 24 hours. So hopefully everybody will work and cooperate with us, and we'll have a nice, quiet winter.
Wonderful.
One way or the other.
Knock on wood, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Moving down the agenda, the big one on this agenda, Mark, is the budget items. And now we've got 4 items here relating to all the different parts of it. But the first one is adopting the 2019 city budget. And we've been through the 16 hours of budget workshops. We did a special here on City Manager's Report, kind of recapping all of that. What can you tell us about the city budget as a whole before we get into the details?
Well, overall, the city budget is approximately $75 million. It's about a 2.5% increase over what it was in 2018. So those are the major highlights. I don't want to take away from the great program that we did a couple weeks ago that we've been running on GovTV, but there's some general areas of increases that we've talked about. And now the council heard all those things, and they also, what we did was we provided a little bit of a room that under our spending cap that we said, council, here we have about $400,000 in spending capacity that we have not allocated, and they can take a look at some what we call enhancement packages that departments can present and ask council to consider for enhancements to budgets over and above their base budget, because we generally don't allow departments to add to their base budget. In fact, they have to defend that base budget on top of everything else. So these were presented with possible enhancements, and at the workshop that we just held the other day on November 7th, the council discussed these and gave preliminary direction to staff to what things could be added to the budget. They didn't quite get to the whole $400,000, but they gave us some direction on that.
What were some of the enhancements that they were looking at that we're thinking about?
A lot are staffing related, and I think some are going to help provide some efficiencies. The addition of a mechanic into Public Works, we're finding that we can now start to do some inside maintenance of our fire department vehicles, which previously had been specialized, but our folks have been trained up and they're capable of doing it. And now we have the Public Works facility that can actually do it. In the past, we never could have even gotten the trucks in the garage, let alone work on them. So now we've got the ability to do that. We are ramping up with a lot of capital projects, Oshkosh Corporation, some of the other projects we've seen this year, and adding an engineer to handle that workload in the short run, because we've had a spike in projects, but also it's planning for the future, because we have some senior engineers that will eventually be retiring, and we need to have that succession planning in place. So getting somebody in a few years early to get them trained up and learn from these great seasoned professionals, so that as they leave city's employment, that we'll still be able to manage that. There is some additional staffing for battalion chiefs, because we really need to have coverage for our battalion chiefs on a 24-hour basis, and we are a little short-staffed in that area, because these battalion chiefs also have management responsibilities on an 8-to-5 basis, so it's really providing some coverage for them and eventually some relief for them so that they can perform their management duties. A couple other smaller items, not staffing-wise. Rental inspection program, the council has directed that we're going to need to subsidize this program because of the restrictions that the state put in place. We can't do 100% cost recovery, so we're going to have to subsidize that a little bit with the general taxpayer. We believe it's a $25,000 investment. We think that's appropriate. And unfortunately, we have to enter the world of purchasing cyber liability insurance because the world is a crazy place out there, and we have to make sure that we're protected. We think we have adequate controls in place, but a lot of places are getting this cyber liability insurance just in case. Okay. And then lastly, some police staffing that was discussed at our workshop the other day, and a Jackson Street corridor study. So that kind of summarizes everything that we're looking at for enhancements to the base budget.
Right, and these were discussed at the last meeting on November 7th, so if you're interested in more details, we can check out the video for that meeting, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so moving down in the budget stuff here, we've got the tax levy and the tax rates. So tell us about both of those things and what's changing.
Well, given the input that we got from council with everything I just described, we're probably looking at an increase in the levy of about 4.4% and an increase in the tax rate of about 4 cents. So that would be about $40 for every average property household in the city of Oshkosh.
Excellent. And then the last thing that is going to be approved in the budget atmosphere here is the capital improvement program for 2019, and some pretty big street projects that are coming up.
Yeah, well, I don't want to take away from our program, but Hazel Street over by Menominee Park and continuation of Oregon Street from 16th down to 21st. Those are the big highlights, but I'd certainly encourage you to take a look at our website as well as everything going on from our budget workshops.
Yes, tons of budget stuff on the website. All 16 hours of the workshops are available on Oshkosh Media's website, as well as the City Manager's Report Special Edition with the budget recap is available there if you only have 10 minutes. And we encourage you to check that out. Just visit our website, our YouTube channel, or our Facebook page, and you can access all that good information. Moving down here, Mark, we've got the request for the Staff and Long-Range Finance Committee to analyze the fiscal impact of potential changes to special assessment policy using a possible vehicle registration fee as a funding source. Now, I had to read this whole thing because there's a lot of people working together on this. We're encouraging the Long-Range Finance Committee to get involved, and it's been a hot topic in the news. So tell us a little bit about this one.
It's certainly been a hot topic, and the Long-Range Finance Committee and Council just discussed this the other day. So Council is now going to give us direction because there wasn't an action item at the workshop. The idea is that a lot of talk's been made of a vehicle registration fee. Some people call it a wheel tax. But the real issue that has been discussed is, are we going to make a change to our special assessment policy? That's really the issue. If we're going to make changes, are we going to eliminate the street assessment? And if so, how is it going to be funded? The answer seem to be going to is a vehicle registration fee. That's not necessarily the case, but the real issue is, are we going to change our special assessment policy? First and foremost, that has to be addressed. And we've been going to the possible solution rather than do we want to change the policy. So now Long Range Finance has been tasked with, let's take a look at the policy. What changes would you recommend council consider? If they don't recommend any change in the policy, or if council doesn't want to change the policy, talking about the vehicle registration fee is kind of a moot point. So that seems to be where it's at now. So I believe next month the Long Range Finance Committee will be taking a look at that and discussing it in the near future.
Excellent. And then the last thing that we really briefly want to squeeze in here is one more reminder that the City Hall elevator will be modernized over the next couple of months here. And so we just want to remind people that that's starting on November 15th, and the elevator will be out of service here at City Hall. And so that's going to affect public meetings if you're looking to attend any of those. But just trying to push you to our Facebook and website for more information on that. All the details will be listed there.
We're going to move any of the public meetings that are currently at City Hall over to the safety building on the first floor, so very accessible. And you'll be able to access the other floors of City Hall. If you have any special needs, we'll be able to accommodate you on the first floor. Just ask. We'll get you in the right direction. But otherwise, maybe you'll get a little exercise. I know I'm going to be getting some exercise in the next few weeks.
Definitely. So we appreciate everybody's patience over the next couple of months. And like I said, just keep tabs on our Facebook page. We'll be putting all the information out there and any updates that you might need to know. So that is going to do it for this episode of City Manager's Report. We're out of time. So Mark, as always, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, happy to do so.
Once again, the Common Council meeting is this Wednesday, November 14th at 6 p.m. You can watch it live on GovTV and on our website at oshkoshmedia.org, or listen to it on the radio at 101.9 Oshkosh FM. Don't forget to like us on social media for all the latest and greatest community and government updates, or check out our YouTube channel for replays of your favorite meeting replays and past episodes of your favorite programs. As always, if you have a question for City Manager Mark Roloff, send it to us on Twitter, Facebook, or email it to us, and he'll answer it on the next episode of City Manager's Report. So thanks again for joining us on CMR, and we'll see you next time.